Well, you join us at the Electric Avenue, as it's called at Goodwood, and this is an area exclusively for EVs that started off quite small and niche.
Yeah.
And I've seen over the last at least 3 years, it's suddenly become quite mainstream, which echoes the world of electric cars, right?
This has got bigger since last year.
Yeah.
Used to be quite quiet. Now we're fighting to be able to talk to you without people walking across, because everybody wants to come and have a look at these cars. We start in the very real world with this, just because it's quite new. It's the new Kia Niro, pure electric car, kind of car people actually buy or lease. You've driven this.
I have. I've reviewed it recently on my YouTube channel. It used to be called the e-Niro. It's now called the Niro EV. Apparently it's better for searchability on Google. But who cares? It's just a name. What you need to know is this is a 285 mile range, real world, good size, good value car. Uses bits of the EV6, which is probably parked somewhere near me. I just haven't seen it, which is the bigger car from Kia. 7-year warranty, of course. I really enjoyed driving this thing. There's a lot to like about it, actually. Much better dash than the old one. Good boot size.
It is not, however, the most interesting car here, because there are plenty of those over that way.
Yeah, this is real. They are going to bring back the Renault 5, electric only. It's called the R5. 5-door only, but it looks like a 3-door. But the great thing about this is just reminding myself of some of the notes of this. Renault's promising that this is going to be a really affordable electric car. They reckon, according to this anyway, they were saying 33% less than the Zoe.
What?
33% less than the Zoe.
Zoe is relatively not an expensive car, so that's...
They reckon from 17 grand this car will be.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and it's going to have a range of up to, he says, checking his notes, 249 miles. So
Can't argue with
the
that.
way you got to look at this is the Zoe's been around for years. It was one of the first commercially available EVs. And the tech of the Zoe is brilliant. Really efficient car, works well. I've lived with one for about a year. So I would think there's going to be a trickle down in tech from this. But this uses, this has got a ground up EV platform like the Zoe has, that's done with the alliance that they have with Nissan. But
now this is the concept, by the way. Won't look like this. It'll look very similar to this. We're going to see the real one, apparently this year, on sale 2024.
Yeah.
This is the Lotus Electra. Electra is Hungarian for very heavy, and it's an electric SUV.
First Lotus SUV.
Yes.
The first sort of commercially available mass production.
Bear with me a second.
Electric car. Are you allowed on there? I don't think you're allowed on there.
I'm 6'3". As SUVs go, this is not very tall.
I'm going to say it's not an SUV.
It's just a sort of hatchback.
Yeah, it's just that they have to call it an SUV in order for the world to take notice of it.
Apparently, yeah. They're probably going to start calling their sports cars SUVs. People go, oh, I like that, I'll have an SUV. But what's also interesting about this is it's sort of not a Lotus. It's been developed by a separate division of Lotus in Coventry, not out in Norfolk, where the sports cars are made. And of course, they're getting the money and some of the tech from their new owners at Geely in China, which is where this will be made. So it's a Lotus, but not as we know it.
Yeah.
Kind of the size of a Lamborghini Urus, if you want one of those.
So Geely already own London Electric Vehicle Company. They own Volvo.
Yes.
So all of this tech and the investment, there's a brand new factory out in China that's specifically going to be built for this car. There's also weird things that pop out from it for autonomous driving, and then they go away when you don't want to autonomously drive it. So I actually think it's a really good looking car. It is. In fact, a name you might remember actually, Fisker Ocean. Now,
Fisker, Mr. Fisker, Henrik Fisker, a Danish gentleman, he was once the design boss of Aston Martin. And from the evidence of this, we'll go and have a look around the other side in a sec.
Did he do BMW? Did he do some
stuff? He's
stuff
been at BMW,
yeah.
He's done all sorts, but he's made his own car company, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Underneath though,
this is interesting.
It's using some sort of off-the-shelf technology. Now I can see this happening more and more with electric cars, because you have your sort of skateboard, if you like, your self-propelled platform. You can start, like the old-fashioned coach builders used to do, dropping bodies onto it. But this isn't coach built, it'll be a sort of mass-produced car.
Yeah.
There's some neat details on it. Coming at this car,
Here we go.
this is the Lucid Air. It's a big saloon, it's about the size of a Mercedes E-Class. EVs being as they are, can move the wheels apart, tuck all the powertrain in neat little compartments. It's got the interior space of about an S-Class, standard EV trick. But, first of all, coming at it from this angle,
This is cool.
do you, Johnny, as I see a bit of Alpine A110 in that back pillar?
Yes. I also
not a
see,
criticism.
was it an Avon team? I was thinking of a Renault Avon
Oh
team.
yeah.
It's got a cool notch out here and a big pano roof. It's getting mobbed.
It's busy
This car.
here.
So I'm going to stand behind this guy really close.
That boot, one of the novel things about it, the whole back end opens up.
Yeah.
Like a whale
From here.
eating stuff. It's electrically
No,
powered.
like those ferries that you drive out of.
Or those freighter aeroplanes
Oh yeah.
that yawn.
They
It's
do.
one of those.
And that, so the thing that I wrote down about this, which is boggling on the mind, the non-performance model is 933 horsepower,
Yes,
which
that's
is
the non-performance
That's the
model.
range version. That does 520 miles or 900 kilometers, which is massive. The performance version has 1100 horsepower. They won't tell me what the range is yet. And the launch version, which is the Dream Edition, which is this one, your sort of early adopter, it's a lot of money. It's 218,000 euros. So
Yes.
this is very different proposition to the Fisker that we've just seen. This is an out-and-out sports saloon electric car with an enormous amount of boot space front and rear.
Having backed hybrid for a long time and having said that maybe hydrogen was the future, they've gone, oh, all right, you can have a battery electric car if you really want.
That's exactly what they've done.
And it's this. It's got possibly the least memorable and most confusing name of anything here. I'm
Here it
going to
is.
have to read what it is because I can't remember it.
Lowercase b, capital Z, 4X.
So they gave it a code name and then they forgot to change it for production.
BZ4X.
Actually looks all right. It's a, and it's a Toyota, so all the doors fit nicely. Now I couldn't guarantee that of the Lucid because making cars is difficult and they're new at it. And as Tesla have demonstrated, sometimes it's hard to get the quality absolutely A1.
Yeah.
If you're Toyota, quality happens while you're sleeping. This will be a well-made car. I don't know what it's like to drive, but I'm sure if you just want a practical get-about kind of car for you and your family,
Well, this is where the world
be
of
fine.
this is where the world of EVs is coming into this fascinating junction of like old-fashioned manufacturers, heritage manufacturers like Toyota and Mercedes and Volkswagen, all who've been making cars for decades and decades, over 100 years. And then you've got other people like these guys and Tesla who are very, very new at the game. Obviously know where they're getting the right tech from. They're not used to mass production of cars. We're meeting in the middle somewhere.
somewhere,
Which I
we'll
like.
find it. Do you
Can
ever try and draw a
without
straight
looking,
line?
What's the name of that car? Remember it. What's the name of it?
B2, no. B,
No.
BA1, no, that's the Bath postcode, isn't it? I don't know.
There we
B4,
go.
no, wait. BZ4X.
Yes.
The Mercedes EQS is here,
Yeah, EQS.
but also, what can we say about the Mercedes EQS? It's a large limousine type car, so like the Mercedes S-Class, but it's not just an S-Class, it's been made electric. It's a bespoke.
Yeah, it's ground
Electric
up new,
car.
Yeah, it's a weird one. This, I think it's a very slippery shape. It's shaped like this, obviously for aero efficiency. It's got a long range capability. The interior is the party piece. Have you seen that? Basically, the whole dash is screen.
All screens.
It's bonkers. I've seen them early UK deliveries of going out now.
This is the Cupra Born. Cupra used to be sporty Seats, now apparently it's electric Seats. It's for some reason.
All you need to know is
Badged
it's
like a cheap energy drink.
yeah.
Gold, it's sort of rose gold detailing. That's quite nice. And this is what, a Volkswagen ID3.
It's an ID3. Yeah.
But with a sort of, where it looks like it's been in a low speed accident under a lorry, so it's got a slightly bent nose.
The more I look at these, I think it's that case of like the Volkswagen Group where the cheaper brand looks better than the more expensive brand. I think this probably looks like, certainly from the back, looks like a better car than the ID3. You can have a look. Tell me what you think. And I love the wheels. I do like these wheels.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And these wheels remind me of the Ioniq 5. which is over there, and I won't show it to you because it's been out now for about a year. Still one of my favourite electric cars, just because that weird electric kind of thing. That's been out a while, the Mini Electric. That's probably one of the arch rivals actually of the R5, that Renault 5 we've just looked at on the plinth. The BMW over Char, i4. Now this is interesting. This is fascinating for me. A bit like the EQS, it's taking the recipe of a saloon, a four-door saloon, and kind of futurising it as best as it can.
Yeah.
Is this the M version of?
It is the M Sport, but that's
M
just
Sport
a
version.
trim, isn't it? Really. So
Yeah.
it's essentially a 4 Series.
Yeah.
It's been electrified.
Yeah. But it's incredible mileage. I mean, thing to bear in mind with BMWs, they've been in the E-game for a while. I don't mean ecstasy, I don't mean drugs. I mean electric cars, just so you know that. What fascinates me about this is way before Tesla announced the Cybertruck, this has the one of the greatest chances of shifting kind of the approach to electric car to the American market, because it takes the pickup shape, which everyone loves, and it has a huge boot at the front, it has huge storage at the back, but it's also, you know, massive amount of performance, towing capability and range.
It's called the Rivian. It's an American startup, like the Lucid.
Yeah, yeah.
But what separates it from, there have been quite a few of these electric car startups, is that they are actually making and selling these now in the US.
Yeah.
And it will, in some form or other, come to the UK. Possibly not like this, possibly not a pickup truck. But there is going to be an SUV version, isn't there?
They do R1S, the SUV.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big thing, you know, it's sort of Range Rover size thing, massive range again. But the quality seems excellent. They're built in a factory, an old Mitsubishi factory in Michigan, I believe, using a lot of engineers from other car manufacturers.
Well, we were
like
just
McLaren.
talking to someone who said that, some of the engineering team are from McLaren.
Yeah.
So if you're doubting the provenance of this and if the people behind it know what they're doing, I think we can assume that they probably do.
Yeah.
And it's full of neat little
Oh,
features.
the stowage is incredible on this thing. This is the Electra Mechanica. It's a three-wheeler, as we saw.
these people take the
Richard
corner.
can't fit in it with me, so I'm going to look at it on my own, because it's a one-seater. Central driving position. So if you thought that Gordon Murray's T50 was a bit expensive,
Okay.
well,
Independent drive.
apparently,
motors on each wheel as well.
for about
Okay.
£15,000, this is going to be coming to the UK.
How much
It's
power?
actually classed as a motorbike, which is why it's got that mad middle headlight that looks like a kind of
Oh, okay.
supercharger sticking out of the bonnet. And it's mad. Look, it's got 2 normal doors, but it's like, I don't know, how wide is it? It's less than a metre wide in the cockpit here. I was looking at the stats. It's made in China currently. They're opening up a factory in Arizona in the States. It's on sale in the States. 770 kilos, 100-mile range, up to 80 miles an hour, which is limited. It's kind of like for the person that doesn't want a motorbike, perhaps thought the Renault Twizy was a bit too sparse because the doors were optional, and is happy with commuting on their own. I guess a lot of us spend a lot of time driving on our own. But there is a boot that you can open at the back there. Kind of just want to have a go. Oh, the charge. Yeah, it's very cool, isn't it? I've read a lot about this.
What do you know?
Well, from what I can say, it's a brand new body shelled EV muscle car.
Yes.
I know it's a lot of money. I know that much.
This price is 350,000.
There you go.
350,000
350 grand.
So
you're
it's
not
not a
gonna
resto mod, this is a new car.
So it's a new body shell, yeah.
I know it's got a motor for each wheel, so that's nice.
Can you? Yeah, please.
Oh. What are we going to see under the bonnet? Not a V8, we know that.
No, not a V8. This is not Eleanor. In fact, this is vastly quicker than Eleanor,
Yeah.
I would have thought.
But yeah, if you're worried that electric cars, you don't like the look of them, they all look a bit sort of strange and futuristic,
I saw
have one that
move.
looks like something from the 60s but is in fact a brand new car. Has brand new technology on it. The interior is very minimalist. Apparently some
incredible.
people from McLaren worked on this as well as that Rivian over there. Quite an interesting idea.
Yeah.
350 grand, they're not giving it away, but
They're not going to make a lot of them.
you want the look of something cool. We've stepped back here under the cover of Electric Avenue to escape Goodwood's merciless sunshine. And, well, what have we learned here today?
I think we've learned that EVs becoming more and more mainstream than ever. You know, like every manufacturer is here, and if they're not, they're bringing something, and there's names you've never heard of against names you have heard of. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
I guess it's something I've tried to tell people for the last 10 years, and finally it's coming
Something
on.
for everyone. And that's also the glory of Goodwood. You can come here, you can celebrate 60s GT cars and racing cars, the glory of internal combustion, but you can also see the future. The internal combustion cars of yore aren't going away. We'll still be running these here for decades into the future.
Yeah.
But we can also see what the actual future for mundane, ordinary workaday motoring will be, and that's not a criticism, it's just that we need cars to get around, and they're functional things, and some of the most functional cars in the world right now are in this Electric Avenue area.
Well, this is the yin and the yang's out there, right?
Something like that.
You've got interesting pistons howling around us, but day to day, for me at least, this works for an enormous amount of people.